commentator Sid Waddell. Now, his arrows are so lethal that the darts commentator Sid Waddell once said, if Phil "The Power" Taylor was at the Battle of Hastings, the Normans would have gone home. From his humble beginnings, borrowing money off Eric Bristow, Phil has now become a 16-time world champion and a millionaire. He's smiling at that.
Multi-millionaire.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I like that.
Correct me?
Thank you.
Multi-millionaire.
I'm only kidding.
I know you're not. Now he's put pen to paper to tell the story of his rise in the sport. Let's take a look at the numbers behind his career. Morning, Phil. Thanks for coming in. Do you ever get sick of hearing that music? Because that music rules your world. Go on.
Even if I go on B&Q now, it's no, it's part of my life. That's what I get it every day, virtually.
And you didn't choose that nickname, The Power.
I didn't know.
Yourself, did you?
No, it was a fellow named Peter Judge. He was the floor manager who used to do all the tournaments. He used to do all the walk-ons for like Nigel Benn and Chris Naseem, Prince Naseem, and all them kind of people. Chris Eubanks. And he trod on a CD on the floor, believe it or not.
And it was that moment of fate?
He says, I've got your nickname, The Power.
Oh. Because before that, you had been known as something else, hadn't you?
Sid Waddell called me the Crafty Potter.
Because you started as making ceramic toilet roll, toilet handles.
That's Sid Waddell, that is. What it is, I used to work on a ceramics factory.
Right. You say it wasn't, that's part, just not the toilet handles?
No, I think I ever made a toilet roll handle.
What did you make?
Everything from ceramics. We did a lot of insulators, so anything to do with pottery, really, anything to do, it was like a woodwork lathe. I did beer pump handles to things for beds, car parts.
But never the loo handles?
Probably. Shaving brush handles, you name it, we did everything. But because Sid had seen these toilet roll handles, he thought that's all they ever did for 25 years.
And then you were given, well, you were helped by Eric Bristow, weren't you?
Yeah. Eric came up to Stoke-on-Trent. He was with Maureen Flowers then, and then he sponsored me.
Sponsored you what? Giving you a certain amount? How did it work?
What he did, his management company used to pay for me flights and my hotels. And then whatever it cost, let's say Eric had spent, say, £5,000. If I won 5,000, I had to give it him back. But if I won 6, I get 1,000 myself. So he always gave me that little bit of an incentive to do well.
Yeah. And reading your book, the thing I've noticed is that kind of mentoring thing seems to go on quite a lot in darts. Obviously, you had Eric, but you have in turn done it for younger players coming through, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll give them advice. I'll never give them bad advice. I won't tell them everything, obviously. You have to learn that by experience. But yeah, if they ask me advice, I'll give it to them.
You've won literally hundreds of tournaments, and yet, as time goes by, it doesn't get any easier in terms of stress.
No, in fact, the circuit now was more busy than we've ever been. I mean, it's every week now, for more or less 52 weeks a year. We don't really get a break anymore.
And how does that stress?
Harder now for me, because obviously my parents and my dad's died now, but my mother's older, you know, she's in her 70s, so everything's moving on, so...
How do you cope? Because there's quite a lot of noise going on now, isn't it? Because it's becoming increasingly popular, isn't it? So do you just block it out? And tell me about the focus.
You try. I mean, it all depends on how you're feeling in the day. If you're performing at your best, wouldn't make a scrap of difference. But if you're struggling a little bit, trust me, you hear every little comment. You know, everybody
and there's a bit of sort of chat, is there?
Oh, yeah. You get what you're looking at, you know, what you're shouting at. You give them a little bit back, But that's all part of it, I think. It's a show, it's it.
Now, Phil, darts players are not particularly known for their health and fitness regimes, but you have broken the mould, haven't you? Because at a low point...
I put a bit back on.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Well, it fluctuates a bit, doesn't it? A low point a couple of years ago...
I'm a comfort eater, I think.
But
so every time I get a bit of stress, I've got a problem with my feet.
Oh, what's that?
They keep going to the fridge.
Yeah,
So,
I think we all have that problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting on that point because some people will be asking, is darts really a sport? I know the idea is hope to make it part of the Olympics, but is it really a sport?
Well, I wish it wasn't. I mean, the reason being, I played darts once in House of the Parliament. I remember playing Dennis Skinner, and he said, I said, "What do you think, Dennis? I'll be a sport." He said, "I don't know." I said, "I'm glad you said that." And you know why? Because you don't pay tax on a pastime or a hobby. So if we're not a sport, we're a pastime or a hobby. So giving me money back.
So your winnings
are taxed.
They are taxed.
Yeah, 50% or 45 now, I think.
Because it counts officially as a sport.
Yes.
According to the taxman.
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. What about an Olympic sport then?
Will we be in the Olympics? Not in my era, I don't think. Maybe in the future.
Would you like to see it in the Olympics?
I think it'd be fun. I think you'd sell a lot of tickets, that's for sure. You know, if you want thousands of people come and watch, then put us in.
Do you still have the motivation and the energy for it, Phil? Because it's been a long time now. And
I do, yeah. But I've got to pick me tournaments now. I mean, next year it's going to be slow down now a little bit. I'll be 55 next year, so I'm going to just start slowing down now.
And one tip for aspiring darts players, what would it be?
I would say practice, practice, practice.
How many hours a day?
Well, I used to do probably 3 or 4, but the main thing I would say was get 2 bank accounts and put 50% in one and 50% in the other for the taxman.
Well, there's one in the wife's name.
Yeah.
And do you have superstitions as well, like favourite dart, or how does it work?
I'm very religious on timekeeping. I'm very, I have a set time. That's the only thing really.
What do you mean, so you have to be there beforehand?
Yeah, Bobby looks after me. He'll say, "What time are we leaving?" I'll say 6 o'clock, and it's bang on 6 o'clock.
Oh, you should be on this programme. We start bang on.
I know you do. Feeling. Time is very important.
Phil, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Good to meet you.
Phil's book's called Staying Power, A Year in My Life.
Now, straight after we go off air this week, the consumer programme